in this Anaconda Navigator, we are going to use this Jupyter notebook and this Spider notebook. Okay. In this Jupyter notebook, and this is in which you can write a program and it will execute line by line. And this is some like editor or idle, we can say. In Python simple environment, you use idle software. So idle is just like idle. Okay. So why we are going to use this Anaconda software? Why not simple editor or simple Python program we can use? The reason for this is that in this Anaconda Navigator is very simple. No need to install external libraries. All the libraries are installed in this environment. Okay. So if you want to install external libraries, then you have different environment. You have to click on this environment and click on this option and open the terminal. Okay. So this terminal, as you can see right here, this terminal is similar as you can see in the Python command prompt. Okay, so in Python you can install using pip install. Okay, so with the pip install command you can install any library. But in Anaconda you can install any library using conda install and the library name. Okay, in Python interpreter or in command prompt, you can install any library using Python or pip install command. Okay, but in Anaconda, you can install using conda install command. Okay, so you understand the difference between simple Python and the Anaconda, how to install external libraries. If you don't want to use this command prompt, you can close this command prompt and you will find here all the installed packages. Okay, if you don't want to type any command, to go directly toward this menu and find out not installed libraries. Okay, you will find, or you can search the library like pandas. If you want to install some pandas library, if you want to install something matplotlib library, so you can find those libraries in this environment and you can install. So all the matplot libraries are already installed, no need to install right now. Okay, so if you want to perform some mathematical expressions, then these libraries are used for performing mathematical operations. But in Anaconda environment, we have already installed these libraries while installing the Anaconda software. If you want to use your simple Python programming, then you need to install all these libraries using command pip install command. Okay, so have you understood the difference and how we can install any library using Anaconda Navigator? Till now you have understood all those things or not? Write in chat box. Any doubt till now? How to download, how to install, how to start the Anaconda Navigator. After installation, if some packages are missing, how to reinstall those packages. All these topics I have covered till now. Okay, so now you go to the home window. We will concentrate on these two environments. First is the Jupyter and second one is a Spider. Jupyter is used for the command line. Okay, it is used in the web browser, whereas Spider is used in our desktop computer or in our laptops. Okay, so first I will explain you Spider. When you click on this launch button, new window will appear for the Spider. Okay, so just wait for a minute. It takes some time to open because it is a complete IDE in which we have editor, we have command window, we have all the variable window. We can see the graphs in the window, complete window. Okay, so it will take some time to load. After, okay, so now while it is loading, we can explain the Jupyter, as I have already opened this Jupyter. So while pressing on this launch button, you will find the web browser in which this Jupyter is shown like this. Okay, clear? When you click on the launch button, this Jupyter will appear in your web browser. So if you are using Chrome browser, then this Jupyter notebook will open in your Chrome browser. Okay. So after opening this environment for Jupyter, you have to create some directory where you have to store your all the programs. So you will find that this main directory have different folders. So you choose your folder you want to create your programs. I am using my document folders. Here I have stored all the programs in Python, and I have created different folders. Here I have stored all the programs. Okay. So in this way, you can create the folders. There are two ways to create the folder. First way is you go to the File Explorer. You go to the File Explorer and you open the document folder, and you create here folders like new and folder, then rename it and create inside all the folders. Okay, the first way is this. You create any folder, and in that folder you create a tree of folders. Okay, this is the one way to create folders for your working directory. Okay, if you don't want to use this way, then you go to the main directory like this. This is our main directory. So in this main directory, you go to the new icon and create a folder. Okay. So using this create a folder, you will find that when you pressing or when you clicking on this create folder, you will find a new folder named untitled folder. Okay. So as you can see right here, this is untitled folder. Okay. So this folder is created. When you click on this folder, you rename it. Okay. You rename it, and you can create any Python file using this Python 3 notebook. Okay. Here, any doubt till now how to create your folder, how to rename it? Write in chat box. If you want to rename it, okay. No, okay, no doubt. So if you want to rename it, you click on this rename, and you name it AI/ML underscore lab 8 and B. This is your class, and I have renamed it. Okay. So in this folder, I have to create a new Python file. So I have to click on Python 3. Okay. So while clicking on this Python 3 file, it will create a new file. Okay. So this will create a new file for you. Okay. And if you want to open some existing file, then how you can uh, upload those files? So here is the button upload. Okay. So with the help of this upload button, yesterday I have sent you one IPY file. Okay, so you have to click on this upload button and go to download folder. In download folder, I have sent you this basics of python.ipynb file. Okay, so you just click on this ipynb file and open it. It will directly appear in your working directory and you upload it. Okay, after uploading, you will find your Python file is ready to use. So while clicking on this file, it will open in new tab. Okay, any doubt till now? Write in chat box. Any doubt till now? How to create a new file? How to open the new file? Any doubt till now? No doubt. While it is opening, I will explain you Spider. Okay, so this is the Spider window. I have opened this Spider window earlier. Now it is open. So this Spider window has different windows. As you can write here, this window is called editor window. Here you write a complete script and save that script in a file. Okay, and here you will find a console. Console means output. You will find your program will be executed and showing the output in this window. Okay, and this is a window where you can find the variable name. If you have some graphs, then you can find those graphs in this window. And if you have some files in working directory, you will find all the files in this working directory. As I have told you, I have created a new file in AI/ML lab-8b for your section. I have created this folder. So you go to this folder and I have created this file. I have uploaded this file from the download folder. So you click on this file or double click this file, it will directly open in the editor window. Okay, you understand? So this is a IPynb file. So it will not open directly in this environment. So we have to download this file and save this file in extension of .py, because this is the extension for the python.py. If you are using web browser, then you are going to use IPynb file. Okay, any doubt till now? Have you understood about Spider? Have you understood about Jupyter? Any doubt till now? Write your doubt in the chat box. If you have any doubt, you may ask. Have you understood everything? Okay, so we will start our first programming assignments or basics of our Python programming. Okay, so from this file which I have shared you earlier, you will find there are so many programs which will explain you the basic concepts of your Python programming. Okay, so basics of Python, we will first understand the syntax, loops, if else, data structures, string, file handling, exception handling, random numbers, and use of libraries. Okay, can we start now? Any doubt till now? You may ask. Any doubt till now? Okay. Okay, we will start the basics of Python. We will not cover any experiment today. We will cover next. Cover the experiment in the next lab. Okay. So now we have the basics of Python. So first understand how to write a program. As you can see, we have used hash symbol and we have used those words after hash symbol. So what do you mean by this hash? Hash is used right in chat box. Hash is used for comment. Okay, understood. So any word written after hash is considered as comment. We cannot execute. Here, so if you want to print something, you have to use print command and use some brackets and inverted commas, double inverted commas, and place your string in between that inverted comma. Okay, if you want to print anything, you have to use print statement, use the brackets and inverted comma, and place your string in between those inverted commas. Okay, so how to execute this one string or one line? Okay, you select that file and right click on this file. Okay, you or select this file. Wait a minute. Okay, so this file is stored in .txt and extension. Okay, so we have to store this file in .py extension. That's why it is not showing. Okay, here. So how to save this file? So here is the option file. Go to save a copy as. Use here .py file extension. .py. Okay. So now these commands are highlighted. Yeah. Yeah. So now you have to select this file and right click on this file. You will find different options: run cell and advanced, run selection or current line. If you want to run your complete program, then you have to use run cell. Okay. If you want to execute your line by line program, then you can use run cell and advance. You have to click on the from the keyboard, then you can advance in the next line of code. Okay, if you want to run this one single line, you can press run selection or current line. Okay, so while clicking on this, you will find in a console window, we find that hello world is printed. Okay, so what do you mean by this? From this statement, our hello world is printed. Okay, now let's go to the next task. Add numbers and concatenate strings, means we have to join two strings. So in Python, we have to take the variable and we have to assign the value using equal to sign. As we can see right here, a is a variable. With the help of equal to sign, we directly assign 10 value to the a variable. We place second variable as b and we place 220 value directly to the b variable. So a variable contains the value 10 and b variable contains the value 220. Now we are going to print the addition of A and B and display the result in variable C. Okay. So what is the output? What is the output? Tell me some in chat box. What is the output for execution of these three lines? Write in chat box. What is the output? A plus B equal to 230. Yes, you are right. So the output is 10 plus 220 is equal to 230. So why 10 and 220 appear? Why not A and B appear? Because A and B are not placed in inverted commas. That's why the value of A variable is shown right here. Okay. So A variable contain the value 10 and B variable contain the value 220. So that's why 10 plus 220 shows the result 230. Okay. Any doubt till now? No. Okay. So now we have to concatenate two string. So what do we mean by this? We have to join the two strings. Why we are joining two strings? When you are going to perform data scientist operations, like you have 1 million entries of your first name and your last name, and if you want to join these two first and last name manually, it will not possible to complete that task in one day. Okay, but using the programming language, you can use the function and you can join these two values and make a complete one string. Okay, so which operator is used to join the two strings? Plus operator is used to join the two strings. So here we take a variable A and we place a string in that variable. Bhagat. Okay, we take a variable B and we place a string in that variable as Singh. So why this string is placed in A? Because we have used inverted commas. Okay, so that's why these strings are placed in this A and B variable. So we have to join these two values or these two strings together. So we use C is equal to A plus B. So Bhagat plus Singh is written directly in C, Bhagat Singh. Okay. So if you execute this program, output, write in chat box. What is your output? Okay, good. I have not selected A. That's why it is showing error. So now Bhagat plus Singh is Bhagat Singh. Okay. Any doubt till now? Have you understood? Next. Okay, next. Write a program to add three numbers and print result. And second, write a program to concatenate three strings and print results. It is very simple. As we have to take input from the keyboard, so we can define the function input. So this input function is used to take the input from the keyboard. Okay, and int is used as a integer. So there are different type of data types: integer data type, float data type, string data type, char data type, boolean data type. Okay, so there are different type of data types. We can represent this as integer type of data type. Okay, so let's input from the keyboard, enter the first number. So I am going to give the first number as 10. Okay, enter the second number. I am entering 20. So 10 plus 20 result is showing 30. Okay, so you understand how to take the input from the keyboard. Input is used as a function to take the input from the keyboard. Any doubt till now? Write in chat box. If you have doubt, then we will explain it again. No doubt. Okay, no problem. Next, we have to take the input from the keyboard and we have to join the strings. Okay, so let's take the first name input. We have to take the input as a string. So I have taken the first string as Abhi and second input as Thakur. So the combination is Abhi Thakur. Okay, you understood? Find out till now? No doubt? Yes, you can add the space in between these two. So with the help of tab button, you can create a space. Okay. Here. Now, moving further, we are going to explain loops. In this loop, we are going to define the increment and decrement operations. Okay. So we are going to start with the while loop. So here we have taken I is equal to 1 and we are going to use while loop. I is less than equal to 10 and print the value of I and we increment I with 1. Okay. So the indentation for the represent of any, as you can see right here, if your indentation is not proper, then you will find some error in your output. Okay, so what do you mean by indentation? Indentation means all the programs, all the statements or all the lines are written properly or one after another. Okay, so you have to make the proper spacing for execution, successfully execution of your program. Okay, so in this program I am going to take the first value for I is equal to 1. So this while loop will check 1 is less than equal to 10. So is this true or false? 1 is less than equal to 10. It is true. Okay, so if the statement is true, then it will print the value of I. If the statement is false, then it will exit from the loop. Okay, as you can see, right, the statement is true. That's why it is going to print. So write in chat box, what is the output for this program? For I is equal to 1, while I is less than equal to 10, print I. What is the output? Write in chat box. 1 to 10. 1 to 10. Okay, so let's, so all the 1 to 3 in a new line. Okay, so let's take a output 1 to 10 in a new line. Okay, so you all understood about this while loop. This statement execute if it is true. This statement goes false, then it will not print anything. Okay, so till 10 the statement is true. After 10 statement goes false, so that's why it is not printing after 10. Okay, now range function. So here we are using range function to display the values in between the value, in between two numbers. Okay, so in the first statement I am using print range 10, list range 10. So what is the output for this one line code? It will show the range from first number excluding the last number. So I have given you hint. It will start from the first number till ninth number. So what is the output? Write in chat box for the first line of code. Range of 10. It will display the range starting from 0 to 9. Okay, understood? Let's execute this one line. As you can see right here, it will start from 0 till 9. It will print the output. Okay, 0 to 9. Next, print range 0, 20. So range function is used to print the values in between two numbers. So here we are going to use two numbers 0 to 20. It will exclude the last value. So it will start from the 0 value to the 19th number. Okay. So this one is correct, or it will start from the 0? It will start from the 0. Okay. It will start from 0 to 19. Okay. Now, next is print range 10, 20. So, what it will display? It will display the values starting from 10 up to 19. Okay. So, range function is very important because while you are going to take multiple inputs from your keyboard, and when you are going to retrieve multiple entries from dataset, this function is very important. Range function, you are going to use this for range function in for loop so many times. Okay, so next is range 0, 20, 2. What do you mean by this? It will take the range from 0 to 18 with the gap of 2. Okay, so yes, you are very right. Ready? Okay, so this is the output. Now, what is the output for this? It will print the value, it will print the range or not? What is the